Erin Haynes-Wack, at National Writer Photo, Patrick Szymanski, at members of the Nigerian women's bobsled team, from left Akuoma Omioga, Sian Adigan and Ngozi Onwumere, pose for a photograph during an interview with the Associated Press at the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea, Tuesday, Feb. 13, 2018. Despite being American-born, Nigeria's first-ever bobsled team says that representing the culture they were raised in. Less members of the Nigerian women's bobsled team, from left Akuoma Omioga, Sian Adigan and Ngozi Onwumere, pose for a photograph during an interview with the Associated Press at the 2018 Winter Olympics in. More photo, Patrick Szymanski, at New Generation of Nigerians marks Olympic bobsled debut Pyeongchang, South Korea, at Growing Up in Street. Paul, Minnesota. Akuoma Omioga was raised on Nigerian food, language and culture. Next week, the 25-year-old will represent her parents' homeland in the Winter Games, hurtling down the bobsled track with her tresses dyed green as a tribute to the country, flapping beneath her helmet like a flag. "One of the biggest things my parents did was speak the language at home," Omioga recalled in an interview with the Associated Press on Tuesday. "It's super familiar to me, even though it's not something that I speak fluently. I can also relate." Omioga and fellow brakeman Ngozi Onwumere, along with driver Sian Adigan, are all Americans of Nigerian descent who will represent the African nation in its Winter Olympics debut. The country is one of 8 African nations competing in South Korea as part of the largest contingent of African athletes ever at a Winter Games. For Adigan, her roots are as important as her birthplace, which is what pushed her to create Nigeria's first-ever bobsled team. "To be a first-generation Nigerian is to have the patriotism of your homeland almost pounded into you by parents who don't want you to forget where you come from," explains Adigan, who also competed as a track athlete for Nigeria in the 2012 London Games. "Although we're American, we're also Nigerian," she said. "We're actually Nigerian first. That's the one culture that we know, that we were raised to respect and understand. To show people that it's okay to be both and it's okay to represent where you're from is a powerful message that, hopefully, we've been able to translate." Onwumere said the preservation of her African culture was especially important being raised in America. "The team's Olympic journey has only reinforced the importance of that heritage," she said, "and of leaving a legacy in Nigeria's name. After our parents are gone, who's going to be there?" she said. "The weight rests on us. We're the new generation of Nigerians." It's a point that took on added meaning after President Donald Trump's reported comments earlier this year referencing some African nations as shithole countries. Omioga said she hopes the team's presence in South Korea this month offers a new image of who and what African immigrants can be and contribute. The women are unapologetically Nigerian on social media, at public appearances and on the competition circuit, where they blast Nigerian music before races. At last week's opening ceremony, they entered the Olympic Stadium wearing green and white SOK, a Yoruba cloth worn on special occasions. The team has also been eager to connect with fellow African athletes from such countries as Madagascar and Eritrea, also making its debut this year, and is close to Ghanaian skeleton athlete Akwazi Frimpong. "It is an important statement for the continent to be represented in the Winter Olympics," Adigan said. "Just because you don't know what it means to see snow or to understand temperatures that are equivalent to ice, that doesn't mean you have to shy away from it," she said. "That's what Africa is representing, that we can take those risks and still be able to compete with the best in the world, not that it's not cold," Onwumere concedes, laughing. "The Texan in her is shivering, but the Olympian is ready. Honey, it's super cold," she said. "But we're here for the Winter Olympics. This is what we expected. We welcome it. We want it to be a little warmer, but we're fine with how it is." Omioga's attitude for those who would suggest that Nigeria doesn't belong is, why not? "There's nobody on this earth that can tell you that you don't belong somewhere, that you are," she said. "That's the biggest thing that we bring to this Games. You shouldn't be asking why we are here, you should be asking how." Erin Haynes-Wack is the Associated Press national writer on race and ethnicity. Follow her on Twitter at @marvelous.